Hello everyone, welcome to the next session on SAP Fiori Launchpad and Web IDE training. This is going to be our last class. In the last session, we have discussed about Git repository. In today's session, we will talk briefly about S4HANA and we will discuss how to create KPI tiles and configure SAP workflow scenarios with SAP Fiori. Let's get started with today's session on introduction of SAP S4HANA. So what is SAP S4HANA and what are all the features which SAP S4HANA provides us? So SAP S4HANA is also known as Business Suite for HANA. HANA is a in-memory database. A lot of you have already heard about HANA. It's also known as high performance analytical appliance. High performance analytical appliance. Why it is called as an appliance is because it's an advancement of hardware and software together. It's not just a software, but it's a combination of a hardware and software which allows you to use extremely fast data processing by keeping all the data in memory. Now when SAP started its journey, they have started with SAP R2 and then there was SAP R3 which was introduced. It was a three-tier architecture. And then with the latest revolution of database changes and fast speed of in-memory databases, SAP have moved into again trying to push down most of the processing logic into HANA database. At the same time, while SAP is pushing down all the business logic to HANA database, which has extremely faster data processing and for analytics, SAP has also built SAP S4HANA, which is nothing but it's an advanced version of SAP S4 business suite. So you have typically a business suite, all your ERP application, and this has been optimized in terms of a great user experience completely by SAP Fiori. And it is also available into two different versions. One is the cloud-based version and one is on-premise version. So SAP S4HANA is a SAP product which offers all the applications in form of SAP Fiori. You can access these applications from internet or from devices with a current user experience and current theming experience. It's also known as UI harmonized Fiori experience with lots of amazing new features, and most of the calculations are pushed down into the database layer, which is nothing but HANA as the primary database. So HANA will be the primary database for all these S4 HANA applications, and all your business logic which earlier used to run in the application layer has been pushed down to HANA. Now to expose the data, all your calculation runs here, yeah, because it's an extremely faster database with amazing computation capabilities. It's also known as IMCE. IMCE stands for in-memory computing engine. It keeps all the data into in-memory, which is nothing but RAM, and there are a lot of processors which are multi-core processors connected together with large amount of random access memory, which stores all the data and processes it extremely faster. Now storage of the data is also done in form of compression, and especially it's a columnar database which gives an amazing computation power in terms of applying the business analytics on top of the data. Now all that is being done into HANA. On top of it, we have our business suite. So what happens is from HANA, there is something called analytical models. In HANA, what we do is we call analytical models. So models gets created. They are nothing but called views. So there are three types of views in SAP HANA. It's called attribute view, analytical view, and calculation view. So these models will be created in the system along with the database tables, and then the data will be exposed to the business suite layer, which is nothing but your application layer. So here is your application layer, but most of the calculation business intensive logic runs into HANA system, and then this application layer consume this data directly from the views. So a replica of this database view gets created into the application layer, also known as CDS views. What is CDS view? It's called core data services. It's a replica of database view which is present in HANA into SAP ABAP system. Okay, that's what CDS view. It's known as core data service, CDS view. So you can actually model and actual corresponding view gets created into the database layer. But you can control this view which is being created in database layer from the ABAP system, which is nothing but CDS view. So CDS view will be the primary way of accessing the data into the HANA database from your ABAP layer. Okay, from your ABAP layer, CDS view. Now there is an amazing capability which also being enabled in this ABAP NetWeaver based server is nothing but called O data services being created directly from CDS. So directly from CDS view, O data services can be created, and then these O data services can be consumed by your Fiori application. So then you have your SAP Fiori applications which are being directly consuming the OData services. So this is the overall architecture of SAP S/4HANA systems. Now the SAP S/4HANA product of SAP is available in two variants. One is cloud version and one is on-premise version. What is on-premise software? On-premise software is nothing but where you have to pay for the licensing fee to SAP or SAP partners, and then entire landscape will be set it up in your own company. So you have to provide spend for hardware. You have to purchase all the hardware things, the HANA database, all the licenses which are required, and set it up in your own company. It is going to also take little bit longer period of time to for going for implementation, and you will be getting into a licensing kind of contract with SAP and SAP partners. But in case of a cloud version, it's available on the cloud, and SAP would offer a cloud offering to their customers, and you can directly purchase subscriptions from SAP. So the difference between the on-premise and a cloud-based software is, in cloud we call it as subscription. We don't call it as licenses, but in on-premise it's called licenses. So in the cloud, SAP do host entire infrastructure on their own. You would get the users, and based on number of users and the consumption of the software and the services, you will be charged by SAP. So there you have a subscription. So SAP S/4HANA it's a great advancement of SAP Business Suite, which runs completely on SAP HANA database, and it's well optimized in terms of its performance by pushing down most of the business logic to HANA database, and which is then being exposed by CDS view and OData to SAP Fiori applications. And this is all done seamlessly integration, all done by SAP in advancement of SAP S/4HANA product. So now what is that which we are looking in today's session? We want to see creating an analytical apps which does some kind of analytics and give us a nice chart or maybe some nice analytics. So it's called KPI tile. We want to create a KPI tile today, and this KPI tile will basically helps you to create an analytical app without writing a single piece of code, without knowing JavaScript, without knowing web IDE, without knowing anything at all. You just need to have a good idea about your database views, your data models, basically your CDS view, and with that you can quickly generate and create an analytical app. And that's why we say analytical app must need SAP HANA system. So if you are using SAP HANA as your preferred database, then only you can create such an analytical apps, remember. So there is something called in SAP HANA KPI modeler. It's part of SAP HANA IMCE engine, the KPI modeler tool, which helps you to generate the reports out of these data models. So it's called KPI modeler. There's a KPI modeler module. It's a block available in SAP HANA IMCE engine, which helps you to model the data as per the requirement. And then the CDS view, it directly talks to the CDS view, and then KPI CDS view then talks to data models, data model talks to KPI modeler, and KPI modeler engine then talks to the different components or the data residing into the database. So now we will see how to create on S4 HANA system, since it's the preferred database for this is also the only database which is there for S4 HANA is also HANA database. As a primary database, we have a capability to use or create the KPI tiles. So let's go ahead. Now this may not be applicable for the people who are working in a company for which SAP system is not the primary database. Yeah, SAP HANA is not the primary database. So how can you check if what is the primary database for your system? So you got to go to log on to your system, and one quick option is you can go for systems and click on status, and here you can check what is the database to which your system is connected to. So you can see here the name of the database is HDB HANA database. Yeah, it's HANA 2.0 it is connected with. Yeah, so this is how you can actually go ahead and check which database your system is connected to. And you can see also here it's an S4 HANA system. Yeah, the current system which it is. So this is how you can make sure and tell your manager whether you will be able to create an analytical app or not. Yeah, it has to have a HANA database as a primary database. Now where can you also maintain or make a database as a primary database? Pretty simple. You can go to SM30 and just look for a view called dbcon. It's called DB database connections, and look into this. Oops, I think there's a different transaction. Maybe I forgot that. I think the transaction itself is dbcon. Let me check. No. So I must have forget it, guys. Let me check in AC16 once if I can find this DB table. No, it's not there. Maybe I will check it in and put it into the blog. So there you can actually maintain the databases. So you can have also from one SAP system multiple databases connected. So this is also possible. So now our main intention is to get started with the KPI to tile, creation of a KPI tile which models some data. Now before we get into it, we need to now go back and check in our HANA database system. How can I find a relevant CDS view? So what we will do is, first of all, we will try to see little bit of flavor of ABAP on Eclipse. So I will open the Eclipse and I will show you how can I look into the system, my HANA database, and find out what are all the CDS views which are being created into ABAP side. So as you can see again the architecture, CDS views are being created into ABAP. Yeah, but once they are activated, it creates the data models into HANA database directly. So you don't need to learn HANA, but if you know how to create CDS views, it is really helpful and it creates the data models automatically into the HANA system. So our goal is not to create a CDS view. Instead, I will show you using one of the CDS view and creating an end-to-end scenario of creating a KPI tile and analyzing the data for different kind of scenarios. So let's go to the system. And now in Eclipse, what you need to do, let me just clear this up. So I just say delete everything. So typically when you start Eclipse, you will be taken to this particular perspective, which is Java EE perspective here. And now what you need to do first of all is in your Eclipse, go for help, install new software, and then select tools.hana.ondemand.com, which we already did in the past. So this is a Kepler one, so I choose Kepler. And now you can see ABAP development tools for SAP NetWeaver and modeling tools for BW powered by SAP HANA. You need to have these two tools added to your Eclipse. Okay, it's very important. Okay, these two tools, if you add to your Eclipse, it'll be really helpful. So you can see ABAP CDS modeler. This is what is more important for us. So I think this is the one which you must have to have in your Eclipse if you really want to connect your system to an S4 HANA system and look at the data models which are available. Yeah, so this is one important thing. Once it is done, what you need to do is click here on open perspective in Eclipse, and then here you can choose ABAP. You can see ABAP option, just select that. Yes, you guys can also use HANA Studio, no problem, but Web IDE will not support these features. Okay, do not use Web IDE for these features. Yeah, do not use Web IDE. So now we've got it open. Let's right click on the left, click on new and choose ABAP repository object. Okay, oops, sorry, right click, new. One second, let me check the option. New ABAP project. Yes, perfect. So new ABAP project, and now you have to select your system here. So click on browse, and I'm choosing my SAP S4 HANA system, ECC on HANA. Click on OK. Say next. Now I will enter my system details here, client 900, and I will enter my password and username, and I say next. It's connecting to my system, and you can see just giving me some project name. Click on finish, and you can see the system has been added over here as a project. Now expand the system library, and you will be able to see all the packages available in SAP system. This is also known as ABAP on Eclipse, guys. Okay, you can indeed do entire ABAP development with all the artifacts right from Eclipse. This is why I love Eclipse, because it gives you all the important tools. Like if you want to connect to directly to HANA database, you want to connect to HANA cloud platform, like some of you have seen in my third course, which is HANA Cloud Platform course. We used Eclipse to connect our project to HANA Cloud Platform, to the cloud system, and from there we checked out and checked in the project. You can use Git repository, you can use ABAP on Eclipse, you can have a Maven project, you can use Java EE projects, you can develop SAP UI5 and Fiori projects. So these type of 7 types of applications we have already seen using Eclipse. It's a one single tool for performing everything end to end, and that's what I love about Eclipse. So when it comes to real development, I personally use Eclipse, guys. I don't use WebID. As I told you in the last session also, especially when it comes to any enhancements of standard Fiori apps, that's when I would like to go with WebIDE. Otherwise, if just app from the scratch, anything being developed from scratch, I would love to use Eclipse rather than SAP WebIDE, because it gives me more flexibility in terms of adding more different types of variety of developments together. Great. So let's explore one of the standard SAP package delivered. So I'm connected to SAP S4 HANA system. It's based on SAP NetWeaver 7.5 and HANA database. So there is one of the package over here called Apple. It's called applications package. So all the ERP applications are part of this. And in this, there is one of the package related to materials management. So I'll just go to that package, materials management. So materials management package, I'll just go to that package. You can also go for search, click on search, ABAP object search, and now you can search for the required package what you are looking for. So I am looking for mm_, so let me just check the name of my artifact. It's OData analytics is what I'm looking for. So I'll just come here and search for OData analytics, and click on search. It's searching now. You will see the results at the bottom. Yes, you can see there's an ABAP package called odata_mm. And you see the SAP view, what you see in SAP Logon pad is now you can see also in Eclipse. So that's called ABAP on Eclipse. Through these development tools which I showed you, you can actually run complete ABAP system without SAP Logon in Eclipse itself. Yeah, and you can see the parent package here, odata_mm, and that's what I was looking for under Apple. So let me scroll down. OData_mm. Here it is. Now expand this, and I'm looking for OData_mm_analytics package. Here it is. So now you must be wondering why, Anubhav, you have taken only this package in this scenario, guys. So I too learned this from internet. I did not, really used one of the KPI tile, but some of the companies, some of the people, like I got an email from I think Mohan, and also I got an email from Kishore 2 days back regarding the same requirement. So they are already working on this type of scenarios, and they already know the CDS views what they supposed to use for this kind of KPI tile scenarios. Or typically when a requirement comes, they will tell you the name of the CDS view through which you need to model the KPI tile, because you are the Fiori consultant. You don't know about CDS view and you don't know about HANA, but they will tell you which is the view you have to use to create a KPI tile. So that will be given to you as an information. Now I already have a CDS view here. Let me show you one CDS view. So it's called overdue PO. So in system there can be multiple purchase orders which are overdue, and for that there is a view which has been created in a website. And when somebody, you can indeed write a view yourself. Okay, so this coding is what you need to learn in CDS view, which is a completely different course. We call it as ABAP on HANA. So I'm also learning that slowly, and maybe sooner or later I will soon start a course on ABAP on HANA. So at that point of time I will intimate you guys. If you're interested, you would like to join, you can join in. So it's called CDS view. So development of CDS view is altogether a different topic. How it gets created, what are all the different syntaxes, how to create a CDS view, how to persist this, how to check it in the HANA database, its generation, all that you need to learn. But before that you need to have a good idea on HANA database, how it works. So but our intention is not to do that right now. I just wanted to show you this is a CDS view, and for you to don't need to panic as well by looking at this code. Just understand this is a view which takes some input parameters and it gives you some output. So the data is stored in HANA database, and this is just a channel for you to get the data. Yeah. Now C stands for consumption and CDS view, right? And right click here. You can also quickly look at the graphical view of this particular CDS view. So click on, right click and say there's an option to look at the graphical view. Let me just see if I can show you. Just come down, right click on OData service. No. So there's an option actually to look at the graphical view for the CDS view as well. So let me just say open project, open with graphical. Where is the option? Yes, here is open with the graphical editor. So you can also see what is the source from where the data is coming. Data is being picked up for this view. So there are two ways to create CDS view. One is you typically write the entire code what you see here. Another technique is you can use graphical editor. Just quickly you choose your data models from where you want to pick up the data, create the join conditions, create a projection view on top of it, and finally create a consumption view, right? That is how you can actually create a CDS view as well. And as I mentioned, directly from CDS view you can create an OData service, and that's what happens. So there is a notion which we use called at the rate of OData dot publish equals to true. The moment you do this statement in your CDS view, your entire CDS view gets converted into an OData service. So you don't have to write much of the code to separately implement a DPC MPC for this CDS view. So you have a HANA database, you have database tables and different views created over there. You can combine multiple views from your HANA database and create a CDS core data service view into a BAP system. When you activate it, it gets persisted into HANA system. Actual persistence and calculation, everything happens in HANA. Final data being derived and it's being projected over here in CDS view. And then from your gateway system, from your SAP S/4HANA system, which is running on NetWeaver, the application layer is running on NetWeaver, it gets exposed as an OData service directly. So you can see, just have to write this at the rate of OData.publish equals to true, and it publishes an OData service from your CDS view directly. So this learning of CDS view is not our intention. We just wanted to show you the CDS view. I could have skipped this part and completely jumped directly to Fiori and could have shown you the KPI modeler and KPI tile creation, but that wouldn't have made a proper connection, a proper what do you call it as proper channel, how the data is flowing between different layers. You wouldn't have been able to understand that. But now, since you have seen the architecture and now you've seen the actual CDS view in the system, you will be able to visualize it better. Yeah. So what happened here? Let's see, it's taking a little bit of time to open the graphical editor. So at the same time, with this CDS view, an OData service also got created. So you can see here at the bottom, the OData service is also available, when we can directly use this OData service to also consume the data. But you also need to check this as that CDS view also has parameters. So you can see there are parameters to this CDS view, where one parameter is evaluation time frame, how many number of days you want to see the data for purchase orders. Yeah, all that you have to pass as an input parameter, guys. Okay, my server connection went off. Let me try reconnecting it. So you can see now this is the graphical view of the CDS view here. So you can see the data is coming from different data models. Yeah, and then there is a projection which is being done. What is a projection? It's a combination of multiple data sources. So we have joined all the data sources and created a projection out of it. Now this is just the projection of the data. On top of it, you need to define it for consumption. So consumption CDS view is created, which is finally consumed from the web layer, and it has following parameters. And in the output, it gives you the purchase order number, item, and different properties related to the this particular view. So this has been already designed and delivered by SAP. We have to now look at this data and give a business perspective to our end user with this. So how can we do that? So let's go ahead and now use this CDS view, and we will be looking at how can we give a perspective. Now, just to make sure that everything is stable in the system, you can also right click on the OData service and click on run as, and you can actually test this OData service indeed. So right click, run as, run configuration. Okay, I'm not sure. I think you can indeed run this OData service. At least you can look at the data of this OData service. So let me just check, run. Okay, I think you can directly run this OData service. Double click on this. Let's see. Run as. Okay, I think you can do directly open. Yes, you can see when I click on open button, it's launching in the browser. So this is the OData service you can see, which has been created. It has it has two entity sets defined. You can see overdue PO and overdue PO results. So two entity sets. But now if I just try to hit this entity set, it's going to give me the error. Why? Because this particular view is exposing an OData service, but this view has parameters, and I'm not passing the parameters. Until I don't pass the parameter, it doesn't give me the data. So you can see there's an error coming. It says missing caller violated the precondition for method call, missing parameter exception is coming. So we should not worry about this. We should just check if the OData service is working. It's giving you the entity set name or not. If it is giving perfect, we can go ahead. So functional people, business people will be able to tell you the CDS view name. You can go ahead and find the CDS view name in the system. You can have a look and you can run the service and just check it. This is what as a Fiori developer you're supposed to do. Okay, how to build CDS view, what it creates, what is happening behind the scenes, all these things are separate chapter. That's ABAP on HANA. We are going to talk about in my next course on ABAP on HANA, maybe 2 months later. Yeah. Now we go ahead and create a KPI tile. So what happens is, if you typically go with creating a Fiori app, you got to learn JavaScript and complete Fiori development, MVC, WebID, templates, chart library, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 things. But what SAP have done, they have done it amazing stuff. So they have given something called a KPI modeler, and KPI modeler is an amazing tool which helps you to build analytical apps out of the CDS view quite faster. So let's go ahead and see creating an analytical app from scratch using one of the CDS view, projecting some business data which has some informed decisions for your business user and integrating it from SAP Launchpad with a seamless integration without coding. Yeah, that's the main idea. So let's go ahead and create, go to SAP Fiori Launchpad Designer first of all to this system. So again, just to remind all of you, I'm using a SAP HANA database as my primary database with SAP ERP solution. That is when only it is possible to make use of KPI modeler and CDS view concept. Okay, it's always good if you are at all using the SAP S4 HANA system. So many of the companies still not on SAP HANA system. They may be on suite on HANA systems. So there also you can go ahead and check if the required components and CDS views are available. If yes, then probably you can go ahead and make use of it. Yeah. So now what we will first do is we will create a custom catalog, and in that we will create a KPI tile. So let me just log into my system. And I will be creating a custom catalog, and we will be giving a role to our end user for this custom catalog, as we all also have learned in the past classes. So let's click on plus, and I say Z technical catalog for KPI demo. I just keep the name also, ID also same. Click on save. A new KPI catalog is created. You can see it's created here. Perfect. Now just come back to Fiori Launchpad this time, not to the Launchpad designer. Come to the Fiori Launchpad, and now you will see SAP has delivered a tile for us to design a KPI tile. It's called KPI tile create. So let this get loaded. Now why it's taking too much of time, because my user has been given all the catalogs and all the group assignment already. So all the roles and the catalog and group are given. So it has everything. It's a super user. So that is why it's taking a lot of time, because it's supposed to load all the tiles available in the system. So that is why it's taking too much of time. Ideally, a business user will be granted very small set of roles. Yeah. So you can see it's loading up. Now just search for KPI tiles. Let me just search, and now you can see there are KPI design tiles. So this is the catalog, KPI tile catalog. I can also show you here. This has to be granted for your developer users. So KPI design business catalog has to be, the role corresponding to that has to be granted to your user in order to create. Typically this is more like developer apps. Okay, a developer would use these apps. So we are a developer, we will be using this as. So create a new KPI tile, create tile, and now I can just come here and click on add tile. And now wow, you can see guys different variety of options to create KPI tiles. So you might have seen these kind of tiles in your Fiori Launchpad in your company. So this is how they create these tiles. So what type of tile you would like to create? So maybe I want to create this type of tile. Yeah, so it's a trend tile, and I can now choose here the title what I like. So I want to create it for overdue PO. Purchase orders. Yeah, and I want to maybe analyze it for past 1 year data using my CDS view. Yeah, and then I can choose the catalog which I just created. So remember just now we created one catalog. In that I am going to add this tile, the new tile which is going to be created, and how much time this tile should refresh. I mean, after how much time this data should refresh in this tile. So that you can give here, and then you can click on save configuration and drill down. So tile is saved. Now we are going into drill down, and you can just search here your purchase order. Overdue purchase order was the name. So you can see this is the one. Which was the one which we created. I just missed it. Yeah, overdue PO. Was that the one which we created? I missed the name, guys, maybe. So we'll pick up this one and click on configure button. And now you can choose what is the dimension. So basically analytical app is more about data being projected into charts. So anytime you want to draw a chart, you basically need to use dimension and measures. So I want to analyze the data based on, okay, but it did not ask my CDS view name. Let me create it from scratch, guys. So I will just select this. Okay, let me create one more. How can I create one more? From the beginning, I would like to create one because it typically asks the CDS view name. I wanted to also show you guys where it is asking the CDS view name. So let me just go back to home page, create a tile once again, add a tile, select the tile type. But why it is, no, this is not right. I want to create something from scratch. So it's currently adding the tile inside this already created evaluation. I don't want that. I want to create something from completely a new app from scratch. Create KPI, maybe. I think we should select this. Yes, this is the right one, right tile. Create new KPI, and I choose here create or analyze overdue purchase orders. This is the correct one, guys. Create KPI tile by CDS view. You can give some tag name, owner, all these details you can give, but right now skip. And now you see here it's asking the CDS view name. So what was our CDS view name? Let's pick it up from Eclipse. It was C underscore overdue PO. So come here, do an F4, C underscore overdue PO. Here it is. Select the CDS view name. Perfect. You can also select the OData service name, which is of course the same. Choose your entity set, PO results, value for measure. What is that you want to measure? Okay, what is that you want to measure? Overdue days is what I want to measure. Additional information you can give if you want. Now I click on activate and add evaluation. So basically we are creating an analytical app. Now choose evaluation, and I want to say based on days. My evaluation will be based on days, and then we can select the tax if you want. Again, some properties you can select. Just come down, and here you see so if you remember the CDS view which we were looking at, it has some import parameters. So these import parameters somehow will be imported now from here. So it's asking how many number of days you want to create an evaluation. So I will say last of 1 year, so 365 days, and display currency is going to be in euros. So this data, these input parameters will be inputted to the view, CDS view, and then based on that HANA will perform the actual data modeling. Data calculation takes place into HANA database, and final result is being sent to the front-end system, and then the KPI modeler display all this data in form of charts. Yeah. Now come down. You can also have the KPI goals and different color coding. So if your value of purchase order is more than, let's say is less than 500 euros, then it will come into some color. Yeah, it will come into green color. And if it is less than 300, it will come in warning. And if it is less than 100 euros, then it will come in red color. Yeah, any purchase order which is less than 100 euros, it's going to come in the red color. So this type of data analysis can be built without any coding in minutes, yeah, based on the CDS view. Now click on activate and configure the tile. So now we are at this screen. So which type of tile we want? This is where the starting point is. So which type of tile you want on the screen? So maybe I want this one, a chart kind of tile, and this is all good. I say save and configure the drill down. So now it will, okay, so I need to choose the catalog, guys, the catalog which I created. This is the catalog I want to add my tile. And now click on save and configure the drill down. Why? So so till now we have created a tile. We have given the content for the tile, what will be displayed in the front end content, the different threshold values, different parameter values. But now when user click on the tile, inside that, what is the chart which we want to show to the user? That is what we will be creating now. So save and configure drill down. And now it will ask you the measure as well as the um, both the things measure. So you can see this is created, the tile is created. Now I click on configure. It will ask you the dimension and measure. So my dimension is I want it as material. Based on material and based on number of overdue days, I want to create the chart. Click on OK. You can see, guys, it has created the chart automatically. So this Fiori, entire Fiori app gets created automatically, and real data is what I want to use. So actual data from backend. This is the actual data in the backend, based on which it creates the chart. Yeah, you can also see the data in the table format. Yeah, and now you can also just give the view title. What will the title of my view? So material of PO overdue for last 1 year. So there are RM 124 material is due in 153 purchase order in last 1 year. Yeah. So click on OK, and that's it. You can see this is how it is going to look like. Save the configuration. You can also add more variety of tiles if you want. So click on configure again. And if you want, you can add more variety of tiles. So you can add this one. So all the different variety of tiles. So all the data will be pulled from the backend. So if open net value is good, so these are different measures which will be displayed also. So you can see these are different measures which will be save the configuration, and that's it. Your analytical Fiori app is ready. Your analytical Fiori. So you need to have a good idea about your data model, what you are using to build such kind of a tile based on the requirement, and then you can quickly model such kind of tiles and completely create these kind of Fiori apps end to end. That's it. We are done. Let's go back to home page. And now since we are in the same user for which we added this, typically do it for different user. You got to go back and create a rights to this user. Now create a business role in PFCG and add a grant to this catalog. So just go to PFCG, Z, KPI role. I'm creating a new role for my KPI tiles. Click on plus and add the catalog. Enter a catalog ID. Done. Go to authorizations. Quickly generate the profile. So it's gonna be a normal user. Apply this template. Though these authorizations are already given, I don't really care. Just say generate. Go back and just add your user here. Just adding it, clicking on OK, and that's it. So we created a custom role now, and we have added our catalog, which we just created. In that we have added our tile, and this catalog is now granted to the user. So let's go back to the launchpad once again for this user and just refresh the launchpad first, and we will now search this catalog and we'll add the tile onto the screen. So let's go ahead and configure for our user. So just bring in that tile. So this is how you can create analytical apps from CDS view directly, provided that your CDS view expose an OData service. This is one important aspect you need to look at. So now it is going to again take some time because this user has all the rights given in the system. So come back and click on change and click on, maybe I'm going to add this tile into this group. So here is a group. I just click on plus, and now it's going to load all the catalogs which we have in the system. Now since our user has been given the right already, a PFCG role has been assigned to us, we will be able to see it. So what was the name of the tile we have given? We got to just go and check. So let me just check here in our catalog. What is the name of the tile we have given? So you can see overdue purchase order, analyze overdue. So two tiles we have added. You can see both are coming here. Analyze overdue purchase orders based on days. You should be able to see it. It's taking some time to load. Okay, I can see it's on the top itself, my Z catalog. I choose it and I will just add this tile which I created for the user. So maybe I just add this one, only one, and that's it. Just go to the home page and user should be able to see the tile now. And you can see it's calling the CDS view through the OData call, and it's going to load all the data. And you can see this is the real-time data coming from system. So you can see there are nothing green. There are 153 warnings and 18 critical purchase orders. So this is the KPI tile. It's an analytical app, and click on this. It will take you drill down, and remember our measure was material, based on material and the number of days. It shows you the real-time data. Yeah, you can also download it to an Excel sheet. You can look at the tabular view for each material. All that you can really do it. Yeah, so this is how you can create analytical app in minutes, provided you run on SAP HANA database and you know the CDS view you got to use to create your KPI tile. Maybe the current business scenario you may not have understood because you are not an expert on purchase orders. Maybe you are an expert in ESS, MSS, some HR based scenarios. So you may have to go back to your ABAP system and just find out the relevant package in which you can find some HR related CDS views, and then probably try to create a similar or replicate a similar KPI tile scenario. Yeah. So with that, let's move on to the next topic, and we will now see the workflow integration with SAP Fiori. So how can we integrate SAP workflow with SAP Fiori? So quickly, just some of you who are not aware with SAP workflow, it's a way, it exists since many years in SAP, and it provides an amazing capability to design the automated process. For example, if you are going for leave and you want to tell everybody in your team, including your manager, that I am going for leave, kindly approve my leave. So if it is done through emails, it has a lot of problems, like your manager might have forgot to look at the email, your manager forgot to approve it, or even whether he or she approved it, they forgot whether they really approved it or not. What is and then sometimes it becomes quite critical in a company that you have a proper hierarchy. So let's say today you send an email to your manager for some kind of approval, and tomorrow your manager changes. So who is going to take the action now on that pending item? So all these things are simplified by SAP workflow. It completely integrated with along with SAP organization model in HR, so that if at all there is any organizational changes, the work items which are sent by workflow are adopted automatically. So that's what typically SAP workflow is. So let's go ahead and try to create a simple workflow, and then see how can we create a SAP Fiori application to approve that workflow. So let's go ahead and create a SAP workflow. So I go to transaction SWDD, which is workflow builder. So those who don't have an idea on SAP workflow and really want to learn it, you can take my workflow course from my website. It's there, starting from basic workflow understanding what SAP workflow is. So you can just go and browse for subscribe for that course to understand what SAP workflow is. So there I've covered in depth about complete workflows, these all the different types of step types in workflow, different types of scenarios, configuration, workflow configuration, system configuration, what is SAP workflow tasks, custom tasks, different types of approvals, parallel processing, parallel approvals using fork, business object integration, events, how to trigger the workflow, with different function modules available. So complete course is there for workflow to understand. So let's create a simple leave request scenario. So I want to create a new workflow with a leave request scenario. So this is how I define a new workflow. Click on create button, and now here you can see this is called step type. So let me double click here to create a step type, and I choose step type as user decision. And now I can just give a title here. I say please approve my leave request. Yeah, and then I can assign whenever somebody request for a leave request, uh, who should approve. So you can just assign a user. This is, let's say I am requesting a leave and it should go to my manager, so you can actually directly assign it to as per the organization unit in SAP. Typically just for training purpose I use user, and let me assign it to another user. So I assign it to, let's say, user called KPI user, and you can see currently I logged in as OCSF user 10, and whenever somebody requests for a leave, it will go into the inbox of KPI user. So there's another user in my system which I will show you. For him a work item will come. So let me just also connect again with the same system with a different user called KPI, and I can just click on this button here. You can see, guys, there's this button called SAP Business Workplace where user can see all the work items. So you can see the inbox of this user right now, there's nothing. Yeah, you can also use, yes Karun, you can use SBWP, or you can also use SO01 transaction. All three takes you to the same place. So here you can see what is that I need to do today. So if I logged in as a manager user, which is KPI user, you can see all the pending items will be visible here. So right now there's no workflow request on my name which I need to take an action. As of now, nothing. Yeah. So once anybody requests for a leave, this work item will, when you run a workflow, it creates a work item and it goes and sit into the inbox of a user. So in this case, who's the user whose inbox will be filled with this work item will be this particular user. So now there are two possible outcomes of this. Either the manager approves it, or just say outcome name is A and manager rejects it. Rejected. Let's see, R. Yeah, and click on OK. Now guys, you need to learn workflow to understand, lot more things. So it may be confusing for those who don't know workflow at all. But right now, just creating with the most simplest and easiest scenario. I cannot have a more simple example than this. So please try to understand. This is the simplest example which I can take, guys. So now here you can see I created a user decision which has two outcomes. One is approved, one is reject. You can see A and R branches are created. So it's like process modeling. I'm modeling my business process. And now here right click and say create. So whenever manager approves it, I want to send an email to the user. So you can see the email will go again back to the initiator who started the workflow. So if I request for a leave, a workflow will be starting with my user. A work item gets created into manager's inbox. Manager takes an action, either approves or rejects. Then the email will come back to me. Yeah, because I am the initiator of the, I'm the starter of the workflow. So I can say your leave request has been approved. So I just come here and click on OK and just says it approved. And just save this action. And now for reject, the person who requested for leave should also get back once again an email, even the leave is rejected. So just choose the send email and I say your leave request has been rejected by your manager. Okay, click on OK. Just create these tasks, click on save, and I say leave workflow. And just say local object, click on save. We're done. So the workflow is created now. So now let me run this workflow, guys, so I can directly say execute. So remember, I am this kind of workflow you will get standard. There are a lot of standard workflow in SAP for all the approval kind of processes like leave approval, timesheet approval. There are a lot of workflows like this in SAP standard, but we design a workflow on our own, yeah, just to understand everything from scratch. So now I will run this workflow as OCSF user 10. Let me run this. So I'm requesting for a leave to my manager. So I execute and click on execute again. And you can see workflow definition cannot be activated. Okay, it's not yet activated. So let me activate the workflow first. Yeah, it's active now. Now I can run this. So I can say execute and run. So you can see workflow has been started with work item ID this, which means the workflow is been triggered. Now let's go back to this user, which is KPI users inbox, and here we will quickly do a refresh. So can I do a refresh? So let me see. Yeah. So you can see now there is one work item which is come in automatically for this user, right? So you can see this state is ready. Now the moment I double click on this item, the state will change. So I just looked at it and you can see there is a request which has come, please approve my leave request, and there are two outcomes, approve, reject, or don't take any action. So it's just right now I don't take an action, just to show you the status. Now I see it's in process because I already opened it. The moment you open a work item, it changes the state. Now it will remain in my inbox until I take an action. The moment I take an action as a manager, the work item will be removed from my inbox because I already taken action. So let me approve this request from the backend itself. So right now I've logged into SAP logon to take an action on this, right? Now this is what we want to do with Fiori. So typically when a workflow triggers, it sends work item to the inbox of users, and now there's a need uh, to approve these work items not by logging to SAP systems, rather than by using a SAP Fiori app. So that's our main goal, how to develop a workflow scenarios, a SAP Fiori app, which helps you to approve and reject, or kind of uh, take an action on workflow scenarios. So basically, this is what a workflow scenario with Fiori is. Whenever you get a work item, you should not be logging to backend system and coming to your inbox. You should use a Fiori app to look at the work items and take an action from Fiori app, and then it should it automatically does everything in the back end for you. That's what integration is. So same fashion, if you look at leave request process. So leave request is not a new process, guys. It hasn't come with Fiori. Fiori is just a UI. They just created a nice SAP Fiori app which can work from mobile, tablet, or desktop in browsers. But this scenario exists since many years. And there is a workflow in SAP system which do exist from many years. With Fiori, it was a need now to give user an application, Fiori application, through which user can take an action on such workflow items. It's just a wrapper, Fiori wrapper on workflow items on which user will take an action. Okay, Fiori apps are just wrappers. These workflow do exist since many years in the system. So what SAP have done, they built apps, and using these apps you can take an action, and finally it updates your backend system. User don't have to come and approve these work items from the backend inbox. That's what the wrappers are. Yeah, so we developed a workflow. Now we will go ahead and develop a Fiori app which helps you to take an action on these work items. So right now I just show you approving it from backend. I approve it and you see the work item disappeared from me. Since I approved it, now what should happen? Anybody, as per our workflow definition, when I approve this work item leave request, what should happen? What is that which we designed in our workflow? What should happen now? What is that which we designed in our workflow? What should happen? The mail should trigger. Yeah, a mail should come back to the initiator. Who was the initiator? User 10. So you should go back, not in the inbox of KPI. KPI is the manager. Manager has approved it. It should now you should inform the employee who requested for the leave, right? So now let's just go back to the inbox of this user, and I go to SO01, same transaction, and you can see there is this unread documents, and you can see leave request has been approved. A mail have come in, right? So this is not a work item, it's an email. Just you have to read this email and forget it. It's not a work item. Okay, work item is this one, workflow. So here's a work item. So it's easy. There's one more request which is pending here on my name, yeah, which I have to take an action. I didn't take an action. Now let's re-execute this workflow again. So a work item is being sent back to the KPI user, or maybe I this time change this to my user itself immediately. So it should come back to me itself. So I'm just checking here the expression as initiator. So the person, this is not a real-time scenario. Ideally, the person who is requesting something, the approver has to be different. But in this workflow, now what I did is, I am the requester and I am only the approver. Typically, it won't happen, But right now, just for practice, what we did is, we are the requester, we are the approver. So I run this now. I run this workflow again, and you see a request have come automatically to myself itself for approval. See, please approve. So now I just go back and show you my inbox for this user. I should get 2 now. One more have come. Yeah, you see one more have come. So let's create a Fiori app. How to create a Fiori app which then helps you to take an action on these work items for your user without logging to backend system. How can you do it? So let's come out of this KPI user. I don't want this. I just wanted to show you workflow. So that's why I logged in. So now let's imagine there's a user and there's a work item pending for this user. Yeah, and how can we can take an action? So you need couple of details to design such a workflow scenario. So let's start from scratch. What is all that you need? So you need the workflow template ID. So what is a workflow template ID? Is this one. It starts always with WS. Okay, workflow template ID is what you need. Copy this. ID. This, and you need the number, the step number at the place where decision is being taken. So decision has been taken at this step. What is the number for this step? It's 4. Yeah, 00004. Let's click on this and just copy this number, step number. So copy this step number. Now there is something called task in workflow. There will be a task number which you can find in controls tab. This is the task number. Okay, we can also we can create our custom task. So this is a task ID which you need. Yeah, task number you need, and I guess more or less we're done. So these are all the details you need, and also of course you need the name of the outcome, A and R. So A and R, of course, these are all the outcome names which we have. So these details you need to configure a SAP Fiori app for this workflow scenario. Now let's go to, now one more prerequisite you need to have in your system. You need to activate OData service. The name of the OData service should be task processing service. So this is the OData service. Just like to use Web IDE, you need to activate catalog service in your gateway system. Then only you can synchronize things. You need similarly the task processing OData service to be activated in your gateway system. Let me show you. It's already done. I already did it in the morning. Mint service. Let's go there and just filter here. I've already activated. Now here is a catch. Very important, guys. If you remember, while I was teaching you gateway configuration in initial chapters, I told you about system aliases. So there is a special system alias which I've created here for a different components based on only for workflow scenario you have to use that system alias. Let me show you that. So I go to SPRO. So this is one common mistake which everybody does when they are using workflow based scenario. So for any kind of service, so especially this task processing service, when you are adding to your gateway, it's important that the system alias which you are choosing is be very careful about it. Yeah, I'll tell you what is the system alias you should choose, and if it is not there, you got to create it, guys. So let's go to the customizing again. SAP NetWeaver, SAP Gateway, OData Channel, Configuration, Connection Setting, SAP to SAP System, and you see Manage SAP System Aliases, Execute. And you see here I maintain one system alias called Fiori. It looks absolutely same, but remember there's one difference here. It's for local app, and one you of course got to use the RFC name. So you can use none also, you can use logical RFC name also, not a problem. But if you come on the right side, see here, software version has to be IWPGW/BWF. This has to be there. Remember, this is for workflow provider, business workflow provider. That should be your software version, guys, when you're creating a system alias. And this is the system alias. In this case system, I just used it as Fiori, the name of Fiori. You have to. So you can either use this PGW, because that's also created for the workflow scenario also only. You can see PGW, BWF, PGW. So you can use this. So remember, this is very important. You have to use this as a system alias, or in this case, currently my system, this one. Remember, the software layer has to be this in order to build it for workflow scenarios. Very important. And then only activate your services for that. Now sometimes it happens that people do forget that, especially your gateway colleagues, and if they do such mistakes, you are going to get dumps. Okay, you're going to get errors, but it's pretty easy to find out. You just take that error from gateway error log. I'll show you guys. I did the same mistake in the morning while I was using the server for practicing. So I just show you IWFND/error log, and I do got this error. And then what I did is I went back, added a new system alias, and then again reactivated it. So if you see, let me just show you the error which I've got in the morning. So this error have come in the morning, guys, the point of time. Let me just check it, the error which has come. Just to be very sure that I want you to be little careful about it while consuming it. This is all KPI user. OFC 10 user, no sir. Yes, here you can see guys, no service found for namespace IWPGW slash. This is the error I was getting while I was uh, calling this task process. You see, task processing service is what I was calling without having this right system alias maintained. This is the error you get. Absolutely, this is the error you get. So with this itself, I got to know I forgot the wrong system alias at the service level. Then I corrected it. I added a new system alias with IWPGW for workflow scenario as the software layer, and then I added it, and it started working. Yeah, this is one catch especially for workflow scenarios. So this you will see this kind of problem for all the approval type of apps, whether it's a leave approval or timesheet approval, you know, all these blah blah apps. You will see this kind of problem sometimes in gateway. Now since it's there, I just you know, quickly go to gateway and test this service, and I say execute, and you can see it gives me the response. Perfect. Now this is the first step. It's a prerequisite for your system to run on workflow scenarios. So now once this is done, activated, and write system alias, we can proceed with creation of our workflow scenario. So we come back to our PFCG transaction. So where is my, sorry, IMG SPRO. Come back to SPRO, go to IMG reference, expand NetWeaver, SAP Gateway Service Enablement, Content, Task Gateway Service, and now here you need to define a new scenario. So scenario definition, go for scenario definition. You can see already some scenarios have been defined here by somebody. We will define our own scenario. So you can see somebody have defined for leave approval with some Z scenarios, absence or something, but we'll define for our custom workflow one new scenario. So you can just look at these entries, and similar to these entries you can create your own entries. So let me just copy this one of the entry and just create an entry as per this. So it's always a safe side. Make a copy and just make your entry. So click on new entry and add it here. So scenario identified is scenario ID. So I just name it as Z let's say 01 custom workflow WF. So let's copy this. This is also important. Make sure you use capital letters. It's always good. Then you never have a case sensitive errors, and just maintain it in your notepad. Very important. Now watch carefully one by one. So now you give the some property external name. So you say my custom scenario. Oh guys, I think I did a mistake. Let me paste it once again, the entries. Just go back. I think our entries did not come properly. Let me delete this entry and let me create again. Control Y, copy this entry and create a new entry, and yeah, cool. And just maintain it again, this one, and I say my custom workflow scenario, and it has to be your service name. IWPGW task processing is your service name. Now entity set name is going to be the task, and property external ID going to be task definition. Default sort by created on. No mass action, class for scenario count not required. Quick action, yeah, okay. Rest all things are not needed. So this is just an entry which we made for our custom scenario. Click on save. Okay, an entry is already marked for deletion, so let me just use _1. This is what we will use. And it's asking me a transport request. I just say okay, and you can see my entry has been created now. Select the entry and double click on assign consumer type to scenario. Okay, now here you have to give your task number. So remember, we have used a task number. So this is your task number. You have to give that over there. So go for new entry and enter your task number. Oops, press F4. Sorry, not the task number is not that task number. It's that this scenario should be allowed from desktop, mobile, and tablet or not. That's what the task consumer type is. Sorry, it's consumer type, not the task number. So we have to say I want to allow from mobile, tablet, and desktop, all three for this type of request. Click on save. Now say assign role. You can optionally assign roles also, guys. So if you want to say that only these people should be allowed, those who have this role should be allowed to take an action on these work items, then you can attach a role as well. Now task definition for scenario is here where you mention your task number. So click on change, choose your system alias, it's Fiori, and the task type. So you can see all the task types. So just mention your tasks type. It's TS8267. This is your approval task. Click on save. We are done with the definition of our scenario. Now, after you define it, make sure that it works. So what you need to do, copy the name, come back to gateway client, and for this OData service task processing, try to call scenario set. So there is an entity set in this called scenario set. Let me show you that. If you scroll down, you will see an entity set called scenario set, scenario collection. Yeah, you have to use the scenario collection. So scenario collection, and question mark dollar filter equals to key of the scenario collection equals to my scenario ID. Press enter. It should give you an empty response. It should give you a response. Yes, you can see, guys, now your scenario number, your scenario details are being sent out. This is very important. Yeah, you have to test it like this. Now if this is coming, which means your 80% of the job is done. 80% of your job is done if this response is coming. So your task processing service is active, your scenario is being properly defined, the scenario is also giving the response properly. So if these things are done, you can see a task number is also coming here, which needs to be which is pending and needs an approval. Yeah, so there are total 2 tasks which are pending for this user. So if you just go back to the business workplace for this user, you can see there are 2 tasks which are pending for this user workflow. There are 2 tasks. So that's what exactly this OData service returns based on scenario ID. Yeah, so this is how it should work, guys. If this is working, we are good. Yeah, if this is not working, this particular request, there is some problem in your configuration. So you will not be able to see these tasks in your Fiori apps. Yeah, because this service is what the Fiori will use to get the data from. Okay, so let's go ahead to now our launchpad and create a new tile to enable this now. So let's use our same catalog, and I just gonna add a new tile, and probably this time a dynamic tile which also shows me the number of work items which I need to take an action. So custom workflow requests, and I say your pending approvals which you need to take an action on. Just choose an icon what you like. So maybe you can choose some icon, maybe this one, more like a workflow icon. Good. And now here you can give your service URL for dynamic data. So let's pick it up, that URL which is giving the count. Yeah, so maybe just use this whole thing. Not sure if it really takes this, because I don't know in OData The space is also treated as percentage 27, I guess. So just enter percentage 27 instead of space. Just enter that. And now in the semantic object, guys, you have to use a generic semantic object. We are not building an app. Remember, we are not building an app from scratch. Everything will be managed by SAP. So it's going to be a workflow, and it's going to be an approval. Percentage 20. Okay, let me just add percentage 20 for a space. And I think this single quote, what you see here, is also treated in OData as a not as a special character. Okay, never, OData never treats them as a special characters. I think 27 is for single quote. And now in the parameters, you got to give the scenario ID equals to what's my scenario ID is Z, whatever we have maintained, that should be our scenario ID. This is our scenario ID. So it's a workflow approval process. Okay, so we're designing this style. That's it. Okay, that's it. Click on save. It's created. Yeah, you can see custom workflow which are pending on your name. Let's go back to the launchpad for this user and go for refresh first so that it just loads it, and we got to add the style, of course, on the screen. So let's just let it load, and then we'll go for change and add this newly added tile to the catalog to the main launchpad page. So let it refresh. It's that simple. So any kind of custom approvals, if your company asks you to develop a Fiori app, don't go start writing a custom Fiori app. It's going to take hell lot of time. You got to use this type of technique, and if you are going to build these kind of analytical apps, again you are wasting your time. So we saw two very important scenarios without coding, um, uh, creating into Fiori apps without any code. Okay, so now I just go for change. Let me just go for change. Okay, there's some errors it's showing here. Let's just go for change, and I'm going to add a new tile. Click on plus, and we got to choose our Z catalog to which we just added this new tile. It's taking some time to load because I've been given all the rights in the system. It takes a lot of time it takes, guys. It's taking still some time. Okay, no problem, we'll wait. Still it's not loading. It's taking some time. It's very slow, very slow. Finally. Okay, so where is our G catalog? What is our catalog name? Let me just check that. ZTC KPI demo. Oops, it's not available. Why? It didn't load our catalog. There's some problem, I guess. Maybe there is a problem with our tile. That's why it's not even loading the whole catalog. What is the problem? There is some problem, guys, I think, with our catalog. That's why it's not loading it. There is some problem. I think the problem may be with this action or not. I'm not sure. Let me check. Okay, here only few actions are there. I think the action name is different, guys. Yes, we added the role already. That's why we were able to earlier see the KPI tile, right? So the role is anyways there in place for this user. That shouldn't be the problem. The problem, I feel it's a mapping issue. So let me just quickly check what is that. It should be the name of the action. So I think it's a problem with name of action. So let me just try this. Approval requests. Click on save. Okay, now I changed the action name, guys. Let me refresh. So action name, instead of approve, we have to put approve requests. Or it could be issue with our service mapping also. I'm not sure. The service mapping, let it right now. Just remove the service mapping also. Just save this. This could be also an issue. I'm not sure. So let's wait. Okay, anyways, this catalog is not visible at all. Maybe we will try to add this tile in another catalog. Okay, so maybe this SAP Lumira catalog, I will try to create this tile once again. So just come here to SAP Lumira. Here it is. Just add another tile once again quickly. Yeah, I'm just going to add this tile here. So new tile. This time I'm going to use a static tile and just quickly give title custom workflow requests, subtitle as my custom workflow tasks, choose an icon, anything, and this object has to be the workflow tasks object, approval requests, no parameters, nothing. Click on save. That's it. Let's quickly go back and check inside if everything is properly saved. Yes, they all are saved. Let's just test it. So Lumira one. Now let's come back and reload this Lumira catalog. Can we see the tile here? It's not coming. Let me refresh quickly by empty cache and hard reload. There was one more topic, guys, which one of you have asked me about a notion model in OData. So why a notion OData notions are used is to create smart filter apps. So there is one more category of apps which are more popular these days called smart filter apps. Let me show you one example for that if I can. Indeed, I was working on one of the app as part of my job support assignment where one of my student really wanted to create a smart filter app for their company, and I indeed created the one. So what happens in those kinds of apps is complete design of the app. Okay, it's still not working. The tile is not coming up. Let me just come out completely from the browser and reload the whole launchpad. So what I did in that example, I will show you in a short while. So at least you get some flavor about it. Let me just go to Fiori launchpad and just log in once again. Okay, finally, let me just go for change. Add one tile here. Let it load all the groups. Hopefully our tile should load. Okay, there are dumps coming, you see guys, in S4 HANA system. It's a demo system, and it's really unstable. There are a lot of errors in the system. Maybe that is causing the issue why the tile is not coming. But ideally, what happens till now, if you've reached till this level, I'm 100% sure it should work in a productive environment for you, because your task processing service, which is main responsible for performing all the workflow related operations, is uh, what is working here in this case, and that is what is responsible for bringing your entire approval process live. So it has every um, detail already implemented by SAP related to approval, rejection, and all the processes, providing all the data to this Fiori application. So um, anyways, it's not really working out here in this, so maybe we got to leave this example incomplete. Unfortunately, I can't show it. There are dumps coming in SAP system. Because of that maybe the tile is not visible to me. Maybe I'll check this out. If it works, maybe I'll record a small video and update you. Now moving on to the next topic quickly, I'll show you one of the sample Fiori app which I was creating using OData Notion model. So let me just copy my example into the server first to show you what kind of application is what you used for a Notion model. Just 2 minutes guys, I'm just copying it into the server. So you can see here is an application which I'm creating for one of my student who is taking job support, and let me just run this in Eclipse. So I go back to Eclipse and go to Java W perspective. And surprisingly, I got one more question yesterday in an email asking how to import project in Eclipse. I'm not really sure how to answer such questions, guys, but please try to avoid such questions over email, because you have to put some effort from your side to find out answers. Do not shoot questions just for the sake of asking. Please do some research. At least 100 times we have talked about it, how to import a project in Eclipse. And if you can just take this much of effort to do a small Google, it will be really helpful for me, guys. I can spend more time uh, to bring more interesting topics to you, because it's a lot of things are new into the market, and even I am not comfortable with everything. So it takes me time also to learn myself and prepare to bring the topic and present in front of you. Yeah. Okay, great. So this is a one smart filter app which is very popular these days, these kind of apps. So what these apps are actually used for are for filtering capabilities. So okay, why it's not running now? Let me just check the bootstrap for this. That's correct. It has a mock server also, which is providing some data. You can see we have some data here in form of mock server, mock JSON data, and this is the mock server implementation component JS, and one view, just one view and one controller into its smart filter app. So what I did is in metadata XML, if you really look at, this is what is called a Notion model. If you scroll down, what happens as part of OData model, as part of OData model, as part of OData metadata, you typically get this type of tags, notions, and in this you will get these properties. You see property, label, collection path, search supported, parameters. So these kind of properties what you get, and it's called OData notions. Okay, now what happens when such an OData notions are available? What happens when such OData notions are available? You can actually make use of smart filter controls. So you see here what I did is I used a smart filter bar, and in that I have just specified my configuration, and I just told the key property name. What it does, the label for the fields, the F4 for the fields, everything will be designed automatically. You see the table control, I just specified the entity set name. Remaining all the things, it reads from metadata and creates automatically the table columns. It automatically creates the input fields. Everything gets created automatically. Okay. It creates everything automatically, guys. That's what called smart filter apps, and that's why they're more popular, because it completely depends on OData model, OData annotation model. So based on these annotations, so basically OData metadata provides the metadata to construct the UI also. So don't have to spend time in designing the UI. You just have to use this smart filter bar control entire search functionality. So typically what we do, on click of search button, we write the code, we make a backend call, search the data and get the result. Not required. Smart filter bar with a smart table, it automatically does the filtering for you. It automatically does everything for you. So I'll just run this. If I can show you, it has some search parameters which I've implemented, and it shows you some data. So the search functionality, everything works automatically. So it says cannot read property get of undefined. There's some problem with this also, I don't know. There is some problem. It was indeed working fine some time back. I don't know now what's the problem. Okay, one question here from Karun. Is it possible to integrate SBWP to Fiori like inbox? I think it is already there. SAP has already there done that. Yes, my inbox app, it's already there in the system. You have to check it in the Fiori apps library. So my inbox is already there by SAP. They've already done it. Okay guys, there is some problem with this app. It's not running. Um, but I can show you one example quickly with SAP UI5 Explored. Let me just go there and here click on one of the example for smart table, smart filter app. You can quickly build it. There's not too much of effort to build such an app. So I just say smart table. So you can see guys here, smart table. And if you come to the smart table example, you will see literally zero code in the controller. They don't have a code for searching, sorting, all these things. This is all managed by your smart controls, completely based on OData models. Now, but major problem is typically these gateway developers don't know how to provide support for notions. That's the major problem. And you can see here, I can do an FO, and you see this box comes automatically. This is all design comes automatically. Don't have to design all these things. That's the power of smart fields and smart filter apps. See, everything comes automatically uh, uh, by design. Okay, by design, and click on go for search, and you see search results. This go button code also we don't have to write, thanks to smart filter apps. So you just go to flip, and I'll show you what they did is they just have this controller, and you see this controller doesn't really have any single line of code for searching, sorting, F4, nothing. No code. No code required guys at all. You just have your metadata XML, which includes OData notion model, OData notions. So if I just come down, you will see a notions, and it's basically supplies the main data for the UI, how the UI will be designed. So all the labels, all the semantic properties, what is that a UI would need. You see these are notions. See, notions, these are all the notions. So typically your OData guy has to provide these notions for you to design such a smart filter app. Yeah, it's there in the metadata. You can give this metadata to them, and you see smart filter controller. There's no code at all, no JavaScript coding required to handle all that, and just a view which includes smart filter controls. That is also very small. So now if I want to use this, click on download. How did I do a development? If a requirement comes like this way, I download it. It's very simple, to provide a job support to somebody. If you are smart, you can easily do this kind of work. And if you are interested guys, I do have a lot of opportunities. You need to be good and you need to be committed towards your work. So if you're working in a company, you have some free time, you want to do freelancing work, I do have lots of assignment, but you need to be committed. You need to give me commitment. I can get you a lot of business. You can earn a lot more than your salary you can earn. Okay, now I just copy this. You can see this is the folder. I've got so many files into it. Major files, as I showed you, one was metadata XML, then component, then the view and the controller. Copy everything. After download, copy everything, go to Eclipse, create a new project. So right click, say new project, UI5 application project, and say Spider-Man. Just uncheck this initial view, click on finish. That's it. You can see a new project is created. Just come to web content folder and paste it. Everything. Yes to all. The app is ready. Right click, close everything, right click, run as web app preview. That's it, guys. Your app is ready. That is how I start with any Fiori app based on the requirement. So if somebody come and ask Anubhav, I need some job support and I need you to build me a smart filter app, what I do is just download that, paste it here, and then start editing. If they say I want a master detail, I just go to web ID, create a template, get it ready, and just get started editing. If they say I want a work list app, I do it that way. That way, that is how I do things. Yeah, and it takes no time, and I think it's a problem in this case, the bootstrap. So let me quickly change this bootstrap here. Okay, it's already there. Looks like it's an Eclipse issue then. Why it's not running in this Eclipse? This Eclipse looks like it's an issue, and it does work. And then I after the, I start editing things, and yes, it's working finally. But where is my fields and data? There's some problem. Okay, typically it works, guys. So this is how I made things work, and then I start changing it, and after editing for let's say 3 to 4 hours, I am ready with it. Okay, it's an issue with the mock server, so we can indeed just go and check the mock server. Okay, there's no mock server now. Why? Where is my mock server JS? Let me just go inside. Did it come? No, it didn't come. That's why it's failing. That is why it's failing. Okay, anyways, so this is about the Notion model. So what happens in these kinds of apps is it completely relies, the whole logic relies on metadata, on the OData metadata, and based on that the UI can be quickly built, and all the standard logic like variant management, searching functionality, sorting functionality, filtering functionality, design of columns, label of the input fields, label of the table cells, everything relies on OData model. So just try to look at some examples and then see if you are able to somehow make it work. If you are stuck somewhere, send it to me. Then I would love to help you. But you got to do this effort yourself. Download from here, copy paste, and then try to run it, try to fix the issue looking at the console. And if you are not able to, then come to me. Then I would like to help you. Yeah, because I'm also right now quite busy. Okay, with that, it's a wrap on whole course. Let's go to Charu, and she's facing some issue, and sorry Charu, could not really give some time to you in the past. I was quite busy last week, and now I'll give you the presenter, right, so you can share your screen and show us what's the problem you're facing. I'll just give you the control. So you have the control. Please unmute your line and share your screen. Yep, we can see your screen. Please go ahead. But we cannot hear you. Looks like you're muted.
Can you hear me now? I
Yep.
think I have unmuted it.
Yes. Now we can hear you.
This is these are the parameters, that file that you have told us.
Okay.
All right. To Okay. Now this is the error that I get. So that's the gateway. Please. So what is it that I'm missing? Anubhav?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go back to web ID. What is the error are you getting?
Just
NWG
one.
catalog service is unavailable. Please try again. No problem. Can you please try in the Chrome browser once?
Chrome, I have to install it. I think I don't have it.
Because then I can actually really look at your network call and we can see what service it's really calling. So please install Chrome browser. In the meantime, we will also try to see it here also. Yeah. Please install Chrome
All
once.
right. All right.
Start the Chrome
Yeah.
installation in the meantime, and then after we'll see.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. You can take it back. The controls.
No, you please download the Chrome. We will see in the
Okay.
Firefox
Right.
itself. Okay, please go to Mozilla browser.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, now please press F12 and show me the network tab. Okay, can we click on reload? Why it is not showing your network calls? Okay, now it's coming. Okay.
Delete selection.
Click on delete button in the network tab. Can you click on delete button? So it will flush out all the calls till now.
But
There's a delete button. Yeah, cool. Now click on next. See if the call comes. 1 second. Now click on this. Click on Pacman button. Can you see the Pacman button? Yeah. Yes. Okay. No, no, no. This is again some performance thing. No, no. Just go back. Why can't I see the calls? Okay. No problem. Sharing the screen. Let me try, Charu.
yeah, sure.
I'll put you on mute. There's a lot of noise coming in the background. Okay, great. So now let's see what call it will make the moment I select the system. So I choose drop down and choose the system. It didn't made any call. I can't really see a call being going from web ID to the backend. So this is the problem in Mozilla. We will not be able to see. So let's wait till the Chrome gets installed. Maybe in the Chrome we will see. We will exactly see what call the web ID is making to your backend system. So at that point of time, I will double click on that call and try to replicate the same, um, same call into the browser itself. And let's see what the error it shows. At the same time, if you can please log into your backend system and show me the IWFND error log. So those who are running out of time, guys, you can check out also out of the meeting. No, I'm not going to discuss any more topic. It ends the course here. And those who want to stay and look at this issue, how to solve this, if you are also facing or if you feel you will face, just stay online. Anyways, I'm recording this. You're not able to log in. If it is your corporate connection, then you will never be able to. Please go to error log transaction. I want to see if at all there is an error log which have come. In the gateway there is any dump.
Anubhav, what's the T code?
Okay, /IWFND/ERROR error underscore log. Yeah, correct. Press enter. Okay, you got to use /n before. Yeah, correct. You're smart. Okay, there's no error here. If the call itself is not coming to your backend, then how come it will come? Okay, anyways, we will also quickly check your services. Can you please go to main service transaction? We'll try to run your services manually once. /IWFND/maint underscore service. Please show the catalog service.
You can take the control if you want now.
Yeah, here it is. So it's active, I can see. Let me just go to gateway and test your services manually. So what I'll just do is check. Just wanted to check the response of the services. Yeah, it's coming. Seems like you don't have an issue with your OData services. We'll check second one also. Let's go back. बैकएंड पे लेकिन कॉल ही नहीं आया है आपका. फ्रॉम वेब आईडी बैकएंड पे कॉल ही नहीं आया है. It's failing there itself. It seems like, but we'll see. Hey, one more catch. Can you please go to destination folder?
Skeptical about if this is all right. I don't know.
Okay. Go to your destination folder. Close this file. Go to your destination folder of web ID.
Yeah. 1 second. There.
I know the issue. It's your actually your file extension is .txt. It should not have any extension actually. Same issue I think RAM also faced some time back. It is not showing the extension, but can you see the type is text document? So can you go to folder settings and enable show the file extensions also? Customize this folder. Yeah, I mean you should find an option to display the file extensions also.
Where is that exactly?
Go to properties. We'll see. आ जाएगा. मिल जाएगा यहीं पे मिलेगा कहीं. Customize.
Yeah, properties में ही हूँ मैं.
एक सेकंड देखते हैं. Okay, close this box. Right click on the folder. Click on customize folder.
Which folder?
इसमें यहीं पे राइट क्लिक कीजिए अंदर. No, go inside. Go inside.
NWG.
Not on the file. Just right click on the area.
Okay.
Go inside the folder, destination folder.
And right there. Here, right? That's how.
There has to be an option actually to show the file extensions. There has to be an option. Let me check. You're using Windows 7, right?
Windows 7, yes.
Okay, Windows 7, how to show file extensions. Very good. Let me Google quickly. Go to start menu, folder options.
Okay.
Start menu, folder options.
Start menu, folder options.
Type folder options.
Where do I get it?
Yeah. Type folder options in start menu. Yes. Select that. Now here you see search for hide extensions for known file types. Go to view. Go to view.
View.
Hide extensions कुछ होगा यहाँ पे.
हाँ, uncheck that, right?
हाँ अप्लाई कर दो. अभी दिखेगा पूरा .txt
Right.
सामने. वो txt हटा दो.
हाँ, दिख रहा है.
अभी वेब आईडी को रिफ्रेश करके चलाओ. We'll see.
Okay.
हेडिंग बराबर मेंटेन किया है ना जैसा बोला था पहले.
हाँ, लेकिन ये सारे पैरामीटर्स तो ठीक है ना, माने
वो
यूआरएल एंड
देखेंगे पहले एक बार ये.
क्लाइंट वगैरह तो
मैं मेरे वाले पैरामीटर से कंपेयर कर लूंगा. आई डू
ठीक
हैव
है.
अ फाइल एज वेल. विल कंपेयर दैट. लेट्स सी इफ दिस शुड वर्क.
राइट. ये कैसे आ गया? Next. Working, I think.
हाँ वर्किंग.
It's showing like it is connecting. Let's see.
It should ask username password for your gateway. No,
No,
it didn't ask.
no, same error.
Same error. Can you please run the Chrome now? We'll see in the Chrome once. See, it's not asking. It's not asking username password, which means it's not hitting your gateway at all. So it has nothing to do with gateway right now.
Right.
If it would have asked username password,
Okay.
means 90% correct. So I'll just check my file as well, and this is definitely a file issue. Seems like file issue. Let's see.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's check your file now quickly.
Right.
Can you please open your file again?
Which file?
The destination
This one,
file.
right?
Yeah, correct.
The
So
set.
description is correct. Okay, change the type to HTTP, not HTTPS.
Okay.
Okay, name is NWG, correct. Web ID EUJS. URL is HTTPS हटा दो वहां से. HTTP रखो केवल. ठीक है. Git SAP block init. ये पूरा नाम करेक्ट है? The including port number. बड़ी सिस्टम.
ये एक्चुअली हमारा पीआरडी तो ऐसा है. हाँ, एक सेकेंड दिखा देती हूँ.
Okay. Remove SAP hyphen client also. Not required.
Okay, one second. It's like this, but earlier it was showing some IP, but then the URL changes to this.
Okay, correct. But why it's not running? It's not showing anything right now.
Yeah, basically I have to connect my VPN, Office's VPN, so that I connect to my
Okay.
PRD system.
ठीक है. Anyways, I'll give you the file settings. Just paste them. I pinged you in the chat box. Can you please copy everything?
Right. I'll do that.
You just have to change the URL and system name.
Okay.
And this is a reference for everybody. Everybody can copy and they can store it. No, no, don't change the URL यहाँ पे. Wait, hold on.
हाँ.
Just do
Okay.
put back your URL. Don't save this file.
Okay. I won't. How do I open it? Anyways, this is all I retain, right?
Now you paste below the content, my file content. Just below this.
Which one? Ah, okay. You can. Ah, okay. Can add another system, right?
Just here add
Just enter and pick.
add everything what I gave you. Now take your URL,
Mm-hmm.
and copy that whole URL and come down and replace this URL. Yeah. Everybody guys, you can do the same thing. My file is working, so it should work with your URL. Now remove HTTPS का S हटा दीजिए. Just remove the S. And now also change the system name. System name आपका क्या है? NWG. So just change the name instead of S
हाँ.
to H NWG कर दीजिए. Correct.
यहाँ पे भी.
हाँ कर दीजिए. ठीक है. अभी ऊपर का सारा कंटेंट डिलीट कर दीजिए, सेव कर दीजिए फाइल को.
और क्लाइंट नहीं स्पेसिफाई किया
Not
है
required, not required.
यहाँ पे.
Everything is working fine for me.
अच्छा ठीक
In
है.
description you can just put your whatever you like. You can put S for Anna or जो भी, whatever description you want to show. And save this file without extension.
Right. The spaces are okay. I mean.
Yeah, no problem. Save this. Everything.
Yeah.
Save it. Save it. That's it. Now
Yeah.
refresh and try once. And if it doesn't work, try with your gateway once. After connecting to your VPN, क्योंकि maybe the issue with the connectivity with your VPN right now.
But this is anyways. Okay. But you mean the Fiori login should be there before I do this SAP web ID, or?
Not required. Web ID will pop you up the credential username password pop up automatically. So Karun is saying if SSL is applied, OData system, then HTTP will
Mhm.
not work. That's what Karun is saying, but we will see. It will not work because you're not connected to your VPN yet. Is it possible for you to connect to your VPN now? Let me stop the recording now. So now just try that once again
Yeah.
directly in web ID. So now we are
Yes.
using HTTP, not HTTPS. So refresh once and then we'll see.
Right. Yeah.
Karun, I think it should work with HTTPR, but we'll see. No. Okay. Let's go back to the file and try to change it with HTTPS now. We'll see with that. Okay. Save this. Bingo! It's asking username password now, so it should work. That's how we make it work, guys, together. You have to keep trying it. Now see the error, which means this time it has hit the gateway. Go to gateway. See if there is an error log in the gateway. See, there is an error in gateway. See, data provider this. अच्छा, इसका solution है मेरे पास. See guys, now you can assume, right? You can see guys, this is how it happens. Earlier it was not hitting gateway. How did we know? Because we saw username password did not come. Pop-up did not come. The moment pop-up come, it hit the gateway. Now there's a problem in the gateway. So go to /o spro, go to img settings. It's a basis work which I'm giving you now. I'm not sure whether you are allowed to do it in your system, but it's a sandbox system. Do it, no problem. Nobody will stop you. SPRO, IMG. This system alias problem. We'll get it fixed. Expand gateway, SAP gateway, OData channel, administration. I forgot where is that option, but we'll see. Go to general. Once again. Third option. Assign SAP system alias to OData service. Now click on OK. Just go back to the gateway error. This is one thing, guys. Some of you may also face this issue. Now copy this whole text into a notepad, because you can't copy a small area from here. Copy this whole text into a notepad. ये बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं, but they hamper a lot. Yeah, just copy only this name. Perfect, very good. Copy only this name. Go back and वहाँ पे search करो इसको. कॉपी कर लिया. ओ वापस जाओ. हाँ, यहाँ पे सर्च करो. पोजीशन सर्च. मिल गया क्या? 2 नंबर है, 1 नंबर है? आई कांट हियर यू. यू आर म्यूटेड. ठीक है, अनम्यूट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. नाउ कॉपी द एंट्री. जो एंट्री है ना, उसको कॉपी कर लो. नो प्रॉब्लम, इट्स ओके. कॉपी द एंट्री. नहीं, ओके. शो मी द एंट्री वंस अगेन which you searched. I think it's 2 number, not 1 number. You should copy. It's 2 number ना. ये सही नहीं है. Wait. This number is not correct. Just copy this name number. Yeah, that's it. Copy this. That's it. Just copy. Minimize it. इसको सर्च करो. Exactly ये मिलना चाहिए आपको उसमें. Are you able to find that? Are you not able to find it? You have to create a new entry, correct? But there has to be an entry already for that with different system alias. If not, then there is a problem with one of the service. There has to be an entry already there. Ruko, you should search in technical service name. Click on position again. अरे सर्विस नेम है ही नहीं क्या इधर? अरे okay, ping me that. What is that number? Ping me, I'll check it in my system. This table, actually what we are seeing here, it's a mapping between our service class and this gateway layer. So this is the mapping. I just check it in my system once. क्या entry है उसका? We'll maintain that. Configuration, connection settings. One second. No, 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 no. MED catalog. You ping me, na? I'll check it. Just hold on. I'm checking in my system. There has to be an entry in that. I'm checking in my system. Same place. इसका आइडेंटिफायर में जब डाल रहे हो तो IWFND/ हटा दो, फिर सर्च करो, देखो मिल रहा है क्या. Copy the name again. OMMED cattle. Remove this. Yes. Now search. मिला? नहीं, नहीं है. Okay, just do position again. See, search with star. Click on position and just search. Yeah, remove BE also at the end. BE002 भी हटा दीजिए. Search with star. Let's see. Should see some entry. Yeah, just check. ये इसी का दिखा रहा है. ओके ओके ओके, ठीक है, इसी का दिखा रहा है. कॉपी दिस सेकंड वाला एंट्री. कंट्रोल वाई, कंट्रोल वाई, copy the second. Control Y. You have to copy the whole entry. Control Y. Yes, now copy. Perfect. Copy this. Control C. Click on new entry. Paste it. Perfect. Now just go on the let's see what is that it is asking. It's asking for which alias. I think it's asking for default alias, so we'll maintain here default. Can you please open the error message again? What is the error it's giving? You have so many system aliases. 01 default does not exist. Implementation this does not exist. Hold on then. Hold on. I am checking. Data provider implementation. Wait a second. I found an SDN blog. I'll ping you. Maybe there is a solution to it. I'm pinging you. Open this up. Homemade kettle, ODC. This is for different service they are saying, but it's definitely an alias issue. Now this is a gateway issue. We have to see how to fix it. We have to see how to fix it. We have to see how to fix it. I got it. I got it. Can you please go back to SPRO? Go to SPRO. We chose the wrong option. Go back. Don't do anything here. Go back. One step back. Just select the option above than this. Assign data provider to data model. अच्छा ठीक है, वापिस अंदर जाइए. Connection settings in configuration. In this you have to select SAP gateway to consumer. No. Sorry, you go to administration. Down. Here it is. Second option you have to choose. Assign data provider to data model. Now here you search for that /IWFND, whatever the name is there. Search here. Yes, in class interface you have to search that entry. Copy. Search here. You will find it. You got it right? Yes or no?
You got it, yeah.
Okay. Copy this entry.
This is the
Yes. This is the
okay.
one. Copy this entry. We are close to it. That's it. Copy. Click. Copy till the end. There is a class name also ahead. नहीं है क्या? है ना? Model.
Yeah, copy.
Yes. Copied whole entry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. One second. Let me do it again. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Copy. New
New
entry.
entry.
Make a new entry. We have to just change the type यहाँ पे. One. Yes. Just see at the extreme
That's
corner
it?
class name आया है क्या वहाँ पे?
वो
आ जाएगा.
अपने आप आ जाएगा ना.
Enter. Save it.
Okay.
Save it. Done.
Yeah.
You're done.
You got
Try
it.
now. It should work.
Okay.
Sorry guys, to keep all of you waiting. It missed out. I missed out. Option number 2 I should have selected. This I did long back when we started this course. I forgot completely. Now refresh your web ID. 101% it should work.
All right. In Chrome or
Anything.
Mozilla?
Firefox also it should work.
And
Yes.
okay.
I'm muting you. That blog will not help you guys. Ignore that blog. SDN blog. It will not help. Wow, there you go. The list of services all for you. You can choose and go ahead. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a happy weekend. Goodbye. See you in the next.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.